guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Roxanne. If it's your first time here, then welcome. As you guys may or may not know, a lot of the books that I read are consumed via audio. I drive a lot and I'm sort of doing stuff around the house, and I like to maybe draw or do something, and really always like to have my earbuds in and be listening to an audiobook. So I thought that I would make a list of some of my favorite ones, and to prevent myself from being very repetitive, I'm kind of gonna talk about these in different categories. So some of these are my favorite because the narrator is also the author, and so it brings this level of authenticity to the reading and a level of emotion that only the author himself or herself themselves can provide, because they are the ones that are talking about their own lives and their own experiences. And some of these are Born a Crime by Trevor Noah. He's hilarious, and you know, it's great to hear him talk about his own story growing up a crime in South Africa. Educated, there is so much emotion when she's talking about her parents and everything that they sort of made her go through, that you really feel it, and it comes through, and you feel this deep weight on you as you're reading it. And it really has a lot to do, I think, not only because of her words, but because it's her who's narrating them to you. The Rita Moreno, her own autobiography, Set to You by her. She is like this queen goddess of mine, and I love her, and it's great to hear her accent and the way that she talks about her life growing up. It's really special. So in Kitchen Confidential, I read this by Anthony Bourdain, and I listened to this one with Louis while we would drive about you know, just around, and it was great. And he was just funny with his like dry humor that he always had, and it was really great to hear him talk about his love for the kitchen and the things that you should keep in mind when you go to a restaurant and things like that. It was just really great. Most of the time I really enjoy an audiobook because the book itself is so atmospheric that really comes through when it's being read to you, whether it be by obviously by the narration itself, but also because sometimes there's something a little something extra added to, like maybe a little bit of music or sound effects. And some of the ones that really do this really well, in my opinion, are the Nevermoor Wondersmith books. Those have, if a chapter ends in something bad happening, there's just like some really somber tones that play that are really cool. Plus I love the narrator is so awesome and so funny. The Harry Potter ones have a little bit of music at the beginning and the end, and I think maybe sometimes throughout, I can't remember, but those are great. The only thing about the Harry Potter ones, I think that one's more nostalgia than anything else, because there are some characters that are a little bit annoying. Hermione, for example, is really whiny, and so that's annoying, but I love them because the production levels just seems very high, and also because they're just very nostalgic for me. Station 11 and the Night Circus and The Shadow in the Wind are incredibly atmospheric books. Just like, especially the Night Circus, and it's really The Shadow in the Wind is such an atmospheric book, and that really comes through in the audiobooks. I love them so much. I love that especially for The Shadow in the Wind, the narrator can say all of the names with the correct accent, and it just gives it another level of authenticity, like I said before, that's really great and really transports you into the story. Station 11 is this post-apocalyptic type of story that is really very quiet, and that's part of the reason why I love about it. It doesn't give me that like horrible sense of anxiety that post-apocalyptic books tend to give me, which is part of the reason why I don't really read them that much. It's beautifully written, and it's just this quiet story that takes you through it all, and you kind of don't notice that you're moving through it, and it's just so beautifully written, and I love it so much. And I can almost never properly explain to you why. It's just this quiet story that I love, and I love just as much the audiobook. Other ones that I love just because I thought they were narrated really cool, or really great. I thought they chose a good narrator who had an appropriate accent or knew how to speak the language, and so you didn't feel like, I speak Spanish, and there is a few things more annoying than listening to an audiobook by someone who does not speak Spanish and hence cannot properly pronounce the words, cannot say the phrases that might be said in that language, and it's just so annoying. And some of the ones that sort of had that are Unmarriageable, Lucky Boy, and My Sister the Serial Killer. These are stories that had characters that had particular accents and that had specific names that come from those cultures, and it was great to have a narrator who knew how to properly say that. Lucky Boy has an Indian main character and a Mexican main character, and hence has two female narrators, one who is Indian and one who is, I don't know, Mexican, but definitely Latina, and can pronounce all of these names and all of these cities and all these phrases. And so it was really great to listen to and hear those alternating voices. The Sonia Sotomayor, My Story, I believe it's called, biography is narrated. The reason that I like it so much is because it's narrated by Rita Moreno, who, like I said, when she narrated her own, just adds this like flair to it, and it was really it's really great to just hear her talk. I love hearing her talk. I love anything that she does or has to say, or her whole existence. So it was great to hear Sonia Sotomayor's life through hearing it through the voice of Rita Moreno, another amazing, this is like kind of like one amazing Puerto Rican woman telling the story of another amazing Puerto Rican woman. So these are some of my favorite audiobooks of all time. I will have posted pictures here of the covers so that if I missed an author or something like that, you can see the cover. I also list always all the books that I talk about in the description bar below. Let me know what some of your favorite audiobooks are, and let me know if you even listen to audiobooks. As always, thank you for watching and for listening. I love you guys very much.